Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 horror film Wolfman. The film is co-written and directed by Leigh Whannell, and it stars Julie Garner, Christopher Abbott, and Matilda Firth. Right, the film follows Christopher Abbott's character, Blake. The film starts with a sequence with him as a young boy growing up with his strict father. He takes him hunting, his son. There's something very strange out in the woods. He gets back, and basically the film then jumps forward a good few years. He's now a grown man, and he's got his own family. He is then informed that it appears that his father now has turned up dead. He went missing years previously and has now just been declared dead. So he has to head up there to basically clear out the house, all that kind of stuff. When on the way up there, he kind of swerves off the road, has an accident, and he and his family, his wife and young daughter, are seemingly attacked by some kind of creature. He's injured. They get to the house. The creature's outside stalking them. But also at the same time, with his injury, there is a transformation that slowly starts to take place during the night. And slowly but surely the family have a terrifying realization as to what's happening. Right, what are my thoughts on Wolfman? Well, this is another one of those films that seemingly was getting crapped on from a great height by people who'd never seen the film. You know, there were many people predicting, just by looking at the trailer and so on and so forth, that this film was going to be trash, garbage, blah, blah, blah. Heard it all before, and it's a bit dull now. When are people going to learn to kind of watch a film for themselves and decide if they're going to enjoy it? You know, I would much prefer if people just left that for me to decide, you know, and actually tried to look at things objectively rather than just overly critical, just to get clicks and views, I suppose. So that's me on my soapbox a little bit, but I'm getting a bit fed up of it now, I'm not going to lie. I've been quite looking forward to checking this film out, and it's just been a sea of negativity almost, it seems, leading up to this. But to be perfectly honest, guys, I'm happy to report that I thought this was an entertaining film. It's a film that obviously is trying to reimagine, I suppose, the classic Wolfman film from many, many years previously. And I think it does it, and it does it quite well, I think, for a modern audience, this. The guy who directed this, Leigh Whannell, he did the reimagining of The Invisible Man. Was it 2020? Something like that. I thought that was a great film as well. So again, some people didn't really like that. But I like his take on putting like modern twists on classic horror. And this is no different. I thought this was... I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is the perfect film. You know, I mean, I didn't come out of the cinema doing cartwheels thinking it's the best horror I've ever seen. But I was bloody entertained watching this, and I was on the edge of my seat more than once watching this. It really is a very, very tense film at times. I thought the opening to the film was incredibly strong. This father with his son, you know, going hunting, and obviously, you know, he's very strict. Obviously used to be in the military, you know, it's like military precision type stuff, and taking the son hunting, and then there's this thing in the woods that you don't know what it is, you don't see it, you just kind of hear it a little bit, and this isn't nighttime either, and it was just like quite tense and quite frightening. So I thought the whole opening to the film, it had me straight away, because I thought, yes, I like the way you've done this and opened this film. And the film doesn't really hang about either. You get a little bit of an introduction to the family, you know, the father, the mother, and the young girl. I really believed their family dynamic. It felt real. It felt genuine. It felt like a loving family, all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. And then you get the air of familiarity with a story like this. You know, you've got to go up and clear out the house after a family member dies. But you don't get all that, you know, twaddle, where they go and meet the locals and do this and do that, and then there's a few rustlings of leaves in the trees, sort of thing. This gets straight to it. As he's going up there, you know what I mean? He basically is in this accident, and it's boom, it's off, and they are charging for their lives to get into his childhood home, and I like that. It then became, we're in here. There's something out there that I just don't quite understand, but I'm fairly sure our lives are in danger here. We've got, what we're going to do, and then you've got that other realization that he's changing. There's something just not right with him. What is it? What's going on? How do they deal with this? So you've got all that on as well. I think it's a nicely crafted film, this, I didn't want some weird looking wolf man charging through the city centre or charging through the local village, scaring the villagers or scaring the townsfolk. This was a much more intimate story, and I liked it. It was quite a grounded approach to telling a story like this. It felt like if werewolves were real, this is how they would be, not the versions that we've got all these years in the movies. It felt like the look of this werewolf and how you would come to be one. It felt like, yeah, I believe that could happen this way. And it's all practical effects as well, I believe. I don't think there's any CGI in this, so thank you. There's no dodgy CGI for people to point the fingers at. It's all practical, and I think it was deeply effective. The effects for me, I thought they were very, very good indeed. It was like, if you remember The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, when he kind of slowly rots, I suppose, in that film. It's a similar thing here, where his body is slowly, not rotting as such, but transforming or becoming something else, and rejecting his own body, sort of thing. And I thought it was done really well. And what I really liked about it as well is I don't think I've seen it really done like this before, or filmed like this. You get to see it as well from his perspective. So you get the family talking to him, trying to reassure him and tell him how much they love him, and then it kind of flips to his perspective. He can't even understand what they're saying anymore. It's all, a different language to him, and his perception is changing, and he can hear this awful sound in the house, and it sounds like someone's breaking in, and when he goes to investigate, it's like an insect on the wall, because his senses are like really heightened now with this change that's taking place, and and you get to see what he can see in the dark, and I don't think I've seen a film like this done it to this extent, and I really thought it was a clever piece of filmmaking, and I really thought it emphasised this film and really worked for the film. I thought the performances here were all very, very strong too. Like I say, I believe the family dynamic. I thought the little girl as well was excellent. Matilda Firth that played Ginger, I believe she was called. She was very, very good, and I really bought it, and I felt for the family. That's something that kind of stayed with me when I was thinking about it afterwards. Why was I so on the edge of my seat at times? It's because I felt for this family, and it didn't seem fair what was happening to them. You know what I mean? So it was really well done, I think, overall, this film. I think there's a lot of people unfairly taking pot shots at this one. I thought it was solid. Well made, genuinely tense at times, with good effects. There's only so many times we can see like the traditional version of a werewolf sort of thing. I liked the different spin that he put on it in this film. I liked the look of the Wolfman in this film, and I thought it was a solid reimagining of a classic one as well. So I don't imagine this film is going to do particularly well. It's already not doing particularly well. It seems like maybe some of the negativity has rubbed off on audience members, which, you know, it always saddens me. But if you're watching this and you've been put off by maybe some people saying that it's not very good, go and check this out. Make your own mind up. It's actually quite well done, is this, in my opinion. And that, but like I say, you're not going to come out with it thinking you've seen the best horror film of your life or anything. But you're going to come out thinking that was a solid film, that. And I was, you know, when you think about it, you're going to think, yeah, I was a bit of a white knuckle ride now and again in this film. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are if you've seen the film. And I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.